But then ushaijua hiyo concept yenye like kwa dating a woman akona a choice ya kumake.
Yeah.
Because yeye ndo anayekubaliwa, but in marriage ni a man's decision.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
like the
for
man
most-
akona the power to control whether ataoa dem or not.
For most cases, sometimes let's say for some cases, yeah. But pia for some cases, women ndo hata wanakataa. Wanakataa.
Tunakataa nini?
Wanakataa
But unasema in terms of power, in terms of like yeye ndo akona hiyo,
yeah.
yeye ndo ana decide. Ni kama unakumbuka hiyo same ya nani, this guy Kevin Samuels, like the men wana control the marketplace ya marriage, but females wana control marketplace ya dating. So rules zenye wataset za kudate sisi tutazifollow because we want to date them, but sasa sisi ndo tutaset rules za marriage. So sisi tutacontrol your marketplace in terms of tutadictate like what we want, and they'll have to do it because sisi ndo tunadictate your marketplace.
Basi sio madem ndo anaamua.
It's
Tunaamua.
Siwezi blame dem amefika 30 na hajakuwa married. Mtoka afanya nini? A propose to
Aizi, kama ni hivyo, kama mwanaume ni mtu ako strong, ako fit, unafaa utafute. Si wanatakanga dem akona boy akona future clear.
yeah.
Kama wewe ni mwanaume unajiweza vizuri, uko very clean, lazima utafute dem akona past nini? Past poa. So hiyo inakuwa kitu pia ni pinga. Dem anafaa kuwe na clean past.
Yeah.
Kama unataka kitu safi.
kwani unatafuta saint?
But the past is
The past ina matter so much.
for us men, of course.
For us men ina matter.
Like ina matter.
Hebu imagine scenario yenye umemeki 20 billionaire, uko na do, uko na kila kitu. Then
Alafu unapata
msee mwenye ako na trauma, anajulikana alifanya activities mbaya kitambo. Utafeel
Naomba kudisagree. Ati mtu akona trauma. Dem akona trauma.
Yeah.
Trauma caused by parents. Did she
There's relationship trauma.
so what you specify that trauma. So specify that trauma.
Trauma ni trauma. For real. Trauma ni trauma.
Kwani you blame people for like you blame girls for having trauma caused by non-functional homes.
Not really.
Yes, so I don't think your point is
unasema
valid.
trauma gani trauma?
Mimi nasema relationship trauma. Dem amepitia so many heartbreaks ili hadi hawezi kuwa attached to one person.
So hiyo ni factual cause.
Yeah, mtu amepitia hizi vitu mingi hawezi kuwa attached to one person. Ukweli ni low.
Even like having a lot of sexual partners for females, like once they have a lot of them, when our need to have an attachment with someone, when they settle, not atajipata kwa ile situation, yeah, they want a lot of partners outside. Now I was satisfied in their marriage na hawajui mbona.
It doesn't happen for men also, like in terms of
for us when it make creative,
It's an emotional.
if we have a lot of multiple partners, we want to be attached to them. Yeah, even though we see, for us, we want to be attached to them, but for me, it's more emotional. Like you have to, so if you end up being attached to all these two guys, it's
very
hard for you now to be attached to another guy, because inafanya mahali that part of you inaenda. The part where you can get attached to someone inaenda. But for us, it's different. Like, for us, it's just busting a nut, sorry to say so.
So for women, for a girl inakuanga emotional connection sana. Ndio maana for madem mimi nakuanga emotional connection. Hebu acha nipe scenario. Niko na best yangu. Udem alikuwa boy hakuwa anajua, udem ni mzee yake. But hakuwa anajua alikuwa so after some time, after mezani nini ndo kama ka notice udem kumbe anamtumianga juu ya do nini, si mtu mloyal. Ukikam deep into the fact that your story ilikuwa hivyo, nijua dem alikuwa na partners wengi kitambo. Hiyo ndo the main reason as to why hezi kani na mtu mmoja.
So what I see because of the money nature,
I see money.
ni because haezi kana mtu mmoja.
Hezi kana mtu mmoja. So behind the back alikuwa anacheza nini hizo vitu zote. So dem ni emotional. Hiyo nayo naweza agree. Dem ni emotional.
Unapatanga most of the time ina happen subconsciously.
Exactly.
So our females are involved, but are aware that it's actually happening. Yet from two legs to keep calm say. Na nini for two. society itakuwa kitu conscious, atakuwa anafanya akijua. So having a lot of partners for females, it's a red thing.
It's a great one.
I cannot speak much because I don't have experience. So I just make it.
Yeah, besides that, we were talking story, the red pill movement. Sijui kama unajua about it. The red pill movement, basically, it starts more of, because the one that tuna exist in, feminism iko more sana, and the females are on the upper hand. So of course your red pill movement ina signify taking the red pill, which is now transformation. So kama ni vile kama mwanaume alikuwa assume or alikuwa na do things that is a blue pill, so I can take this red pill na kwa transformation to becoming a different man. So of course kuna watu huyo transformation na bado wanakuwa toxic in a way, like the toxic red pill. Hakuna the good red pill yenye ni like once you take it, you're able to understand.
So there's the positive and the negative, right?
Yeah, there's the positive and the red pill like movement. Ni kama tu masculinity wenye kuna the positive one na kuna the toxic one which is negative. Yeah, so yeah, we were supposed to talk about that topic mostly in society. So unapata like females wanapewa an upper hand sana.
True.
Like hakuna hiyo balance yenye exists. Unapata females wanakuwa wamepewa an upper hand as compared to men.
Yes, it's true. According to society ya sahi, hadi ukiangalia in all religions, kila mahali mademu wanakuwa wamepatiwa an upper hand in terms of job. Sikizi wera wamejaa zindi kitu hiko, hata mimi nikawa nafaa kucomplain. I don't see any problem kwa hiyo story. Na unatoa kwa sawa.
Actually complain ni kwa wanaume cause so like mademu wana a lot of opportunities zimekuwa wamepewa through feminism, to the point that now the men who lack opportunities through that. Na lot kama living in the building.
Okay, so I feel the society has empowered the girl child and left the boy child. So we are empowering the girl child to new analogies and leaving the boy child with the old analogies. So it even becomes a struggle to exist in this. We are having so much friction between men and women because women have new analogies and men have been left with the old analogies that were left.
Which old analogies? Like when you say the females on the time one and the male one will remain the old one.
Yeah, the old ones.
So for example, when the females tunafaa kujichua, we are supposed to work independent females, blah blah blah. And for men, let's say now in the traditional society, like in the old society, where men demand respect, some type of respect, it becomes a very, very frictional relationship between men and women in the current generation.
Simply because they have respect.
No, simply because you guys are existing in the traditional analogy.
So you want us to live in the modern analogy?
Tumebariwa kwa the modern analogy sahi, which is not our fault.
So what is the modern analogy kwetu? Modern analogy yetu ni gani?
Like we are, for example, in a relationship setup, like no one is above the other. Like we are equal human beings. Like treat each other as
equals.
Equals.
But there's specific roles designed for each gender.
So si
traditional. Kuna tu specific kama kuosha, kuna vitu kama kupika. Kupika, kuosha nyumba. They can cook. But we mbona mtu wa basi? The reason as to why mtu anachukuanga bibi.
For companionship.
Si companion.
Companionship. But set up partly of that companionship.
Kupika. Okay, mimi naweza pika but nikitaka. The reason as to why nachukua dem ni juu nataka.
So no, I don't know the wrong analogies. But the reason for marriage is majorly companionship. Si kupata mtu atakupikia.
Hiyo ni analogy
mtu
yako.
atakuoshea
What's the
nguo.
right analogy?
The right analogy si kwamba ni companionship.
Define that companionship, like just being together then.
Exist together.
Because like for you to exist together, lazima kukuwe na that. Like hizo roles now that exist.
Yeah.
We'll take example ya company. If everyone in the company did everything, like watu wa IT, wafanya accounting, watu wa accounting, wako wana clean the office, like they wouldn't be order. So for order to exist, there must be roles. Each one akona roles, na kunafaa kuwa na ranks also. So in a company setup, there's a manager, there's a top level manager. So everyone akona their task. Top level managers wanna make decisions. Huku chini wanafanya kazi, mtu wa IT ako basically just IT. So roles pia zinafaa zikuwe, like everyone should do their thing. Rather than just leaving it tukisema equality, tukisema tu equal ground, like no one anajua what they're supposed to do.
Okay, najua for males inakwanga tu in terms of say cooking, like those are roles of women. But you understand, it's saying the traditional analogy that women did not go 50-50 on terms of provision. You men,
Give an example.
I'm saying in terms of provision, like in terms of providing for the family. A man fully provided for the family. But now men want women to go 50-50 on provision.
Because now in the old times, the woman would stay at home and the husband will go to work. You will not expect her to pay what 50 will she have.
For real.
And she's staying at home.
Then I'm just saying, if you are ready to exist in the traditional analogy, be ready to take up the task of providing fully.
So if the man provides, there's no issue.
So
the man provide, there's no issue.
Si memora atapata mtu wake wa traditional na mwenye atafit his traditional analogy.
Yeah.
Yes. Na kuna wenye modern, kuna pia modern men when they don't mind going to the kitchen cooking.
Yeah.
When maybe their wife is not
able.
Maybe the wife is not able. Unaona, huyo atako maybe allowed atakusema provision me 50-50. But yeah, kama una exist na traditional analogy, be prepared to also to do provision fully as a man of the traditional community.
I think what we can have now, because sisi generation yetu tuko kwa transition ya traditional thing. So the only way we can do it is not to go fully modern, of course, because hatujui vile modern iko. My countries implement modern like the Western world. Unapata their divorce rates are high. Like they have that ideology and any female unatakana the modern world. But so can the divorce rates now is got more than 50%. Meaning for every 10 marriages, 5 will succeed, 5 will get divorced. So to process your transition, the best way is trying to actually follow every, like you borrow few from each. Like you can't fully take one of the other. Like lazima uchukue from one.
That's what I can agree. Lakini hapo kwa roles bado nakuja. Hapo kwa roles kuna tu task specific kwa design for man and task specific kwa design for women.
So gani hizo like for each gender.
Siku hizi hatuwezi sema mambo ya kupika. Hiyo kupika acha nitoe. Ndio siku hizi kuna maid, kuna nini, mambo ya kuosha, siwezi sema hivyo. Dem, lazima pia kuna value yake.
Yeah.
Value nasema in terms of anza kuadia kuna do akwa waki. Hiyo ni example ya dem akwa na value.
Yeah.
Akwa waki na hajakuwa na watu wengi kwa maisha yake pia.
Yeah.
Hiyo ndo value wanaume ni. Hiyo ndo kitu wanaume wana label as value. Hiyo ndo tunaweza sema. But according kwa nyumba kwa scouts metu kwa hivi na kuna deni yako kijana kama wife.
Yeah.
Roles zenye boy anafaa play different kuwa tafuta ndo kuhakikisha watu hiyo wako sawa nini. Na dem hizi fanya hizo vitu zote kama anataka mwanaume kwa value iko juu kabisa.
Even when it comes to raising kids, kama mtu na boy na dem, so kuna wase argue that you need to treat them the same way you were raised. No disagree. I feel like you need to treat them separately. Because when in the world treat,
boy na them.
yeah, when in the world treat the forwarders differently, because the world will treat them in a different way.
Yeah.
The man anafaa ajue, like no one will be for you unless you have something to show.
Exactly.
The woman anafaa ajue, this is how the world will treat me. The naked too. So when waki grow up wanalitukwa the plain entire truth, the two case scenarios, they can't be raised the same way. Ni kama ukiwa na a black kid and a white kid maybe in the States, because you are raised be the same way. You'll just tell your black kid, if you do some certain things, you might end up being shot. Now a white kid atafunzwa a different set of things.
I think I agree. Like parents are the ones who are the first teachers of their children.
Yeah.
For example, the female children. Also, okay, both parents play an important role, but we know that dad is a first love of the girl child. So how you treat your child, how you show, how you interpret love to your child is the way she will grow up interpreting love from other men. So you as a father, you are obligated to set standards for your girl child.
Yeah.
And for men, I agree you cannot be soft on a man because truth be told, the world is not so soft on the boy child.
Yeah, true.
There's so much responsibility held for a boy child that if you now treat them soft, it will be really hard for them to exist in the current world. Yeah.
So like lazima find a balance and find a way of how you treat them both, because you are treat equal, because the world is treat differently. Because entirely ourselves are separate human being.
Also, if you want change to men as you speak, fathers, you need to show your male children how to treat ladies, how ladies are supposed to be treated.
You feel like we're not taught how to
I feel like you guys are winning.
I think ni nature. Si ati ni kitu inafaa mtu akuwe akifunza.
But kuna vitu mnaambiwa dini mnashanga.
Kama gani?
Mtu anafaa kufanya hivi.
Hebu tuambie mmoja tujue.
Mtu anafaa kufanya maua.
Sijaona babangu akibeba mamangu maua.
Sijui umepata kama ngezeka. Wewe unatuacha kideta alikuwa na mzee.
Sijaiona. Mimi sijaiona hiyo.
But wanasema kufunzwa ni vitu gani?
Kufunzwa. Babangu hawezi nifunza kupenda.
So like what do you feel like most
men are feeling like most men lack, for example, empathy and emotional intelligence. They somehow expect ladies, they don't know, like we accept as ladies that we are emotional human beings.
Yeah.
But I feel like most men do not have the emotional intelligence or maturity to handle an emotionally.
That's why there's a difference between men and women.
It means for the way women are emotional, it needs an emotionally mature man to handle a lady more.
Alafu atamuita weak.
Yeah, then
at the end of the day mtasema mko weak. Akiwa too strong mtasema ako too toxic.
No.
For real?
No.
Even
now.
Because unapata like naturally sisi men tuko more logical na nyinyi mko more emotional naturally. So of course sisi reasoning yetu itakuwa based on logic and emotions. The reason why we need to exist together is like nyinyi ndo mtakuwa the help in the emotional side na sisi ni logical thinkers. Now when it comes to vitu kama but sisi roles tunaponga mostly in security, is a provision, because hizo ni vitu more logical. So for example, when a thief akikuja, so if it's a woman, the first thing at a panic and emotional are out of there. But if it's a man, atafikiria the logical side, like what should we do to solve this? Ataanza kupanic, ataanza overthink the whole situation. Atakuwa tu like action, like mwizi ameingia, so what's next? Let's do this and that to solve this situation. So we need to coexist together, being separate human beings. And if we become the same way, sisi wote tukiwa emotional, mnacheki most mistakes unapata they are more shootings, because unapata these are men who have emotions and at the same time they have the strength of a man. So what they do with all that is, if someone hurts them from school,
They release their anger.
they release their anger. But naturally, a man unafaa kuwa logical thinker, unaangalia situations as they are. Mtu akikuongelesha vibaya, that's okay. Like, you should not act based on that emotion.
Kila ni so weak.
I feel like there should be a line between logical thinking for men, because mnatufinyilia sana when we come with an issue. Nini mtakuwa like, that's just, you're just being sensitive, or you're being
But
emotional.
it's the same way.
It's-
If we come to you, you'll also treat it emotionally. If we come with a logical thing,
Yeah, you treat it.
you'll treat it emotionally. Same way with you, when you come with an emotional thing, we'll use logic. So we have the same.
So ndio nasema men to handle emotional ladies,
Yeah.
and ladies are naturally emotional. It needs an emotionally mature man to handle these emotional ladies.
And do you feel like for us we need a logical woman to handle a logical man?
That's why najua mwanamke emotions zinakuanga tu zinapanda kiasi, alafu with time atarudi chini na like ataona your sense, like ataona your logical point of view. But in fact, for example, like I had an example, a man was late for his meeting, and he had to drop the wife to town. But in kwa logical sense ya the man ni aingie meeting na ndema anaweza chukua Uber. But ukimwambia chukua Uber ata jam. So what do you do as a man to balance logical thinking and emotional thinking? Akamwambia, let me be the one to call for you the Uber, I'll pay, and let me know when you get there. There you've balanced logical and emotional thinking. But so ukimwambia chukua Uber, mimi niko na meeting hapa.
Ideally, I'd argue now for her to balance her emotion with my logic is for her to understand that I need to go for a meeting and understand the logic. So kutakwanga tu na always that imbalance and exist because we're different human beings.
But now you need to strike a balance. You need to strike a balance. Because that's very
balance
easy. That's very easy to kumwambia chukua Uber na uende, mimi niko meeting ya kwenda. That one you've lacked empathy, you've lacked emotional intelligence.
And she has lacked logic.
Yes, she has lacked logic. Yeah. But unajua women sometimes at the peak of time tunafikirianga tu emotionally. Later ndio tunaona the logical point of view. Now to balance that is an emotionally.
Ukiwa emotionally na kujanga with age ama ni kitu itakanga for a lifetime ama kuna age fulani inafika una balance pia.
Emotionally.
Yeah.
Women are not kwa zeba tutakuwa tu emotions.
Yeah.
So na sasa you as an emotionally mature man, no nikiambia bibi yangu aende achukue Uber na mimi nitabaki nimekasirikiwa. No, balance that out. Just say, let me call an Uber for you. Let me know when you reach and let me know how much it is so that I sort. You have eased your life. Not complicate to your life with wanting to be a logical human being, where you can balance your logical thinking.
But that balance is hard because now venye tu wewe unaweza find it hard to use logic at some point. Ndio sisi tunaweza find it hard to use that emotion at some point because we don't have it. We are not even created to have it. Like for us, we were created. Ukiangalia how our physique, even biologically, physique yetu ni we have more protectors. Like we are stronger than you guys physically. So we are created to be those people who would go to war and fight, won't care if what's happening at home, focus on the war and fight. Like that's how we are, logical. But people created evil so that you care about the kids, you take care of them. So tunakuwa hivyo ndo the species iendelee kuthrive. Because if we're emotional, we want to go to war, and if the enemy is coming,
we'll think emotionally,
we'll be attacked, we'll die. But even we have to exist as human beings, or as a species, and even not to be creative. So wanting a man to become emotional, unamfanya go out of his nature. It's like those lions you see that are domesticated. They are not meant to be domesticated. Ziko meant to go outside in the world hunting. So trying to make a manner for that emotional guy, ni kama try to domesticate an animal, making it not who they really are. And it's hard, na iko na consequences zake pia.
I'd say this, when the Bible says, when a woman is looking for a husband, you're looking for someone who can lead as Christ led the church.
Yeah.
So, when you're a leader, you strike a balance between logical thinking and emotional thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not about making you become an emotional human being. It's about striking a balance between how well can I lead my home? How well can I strike a balance so that I can find peace in my home? You've not been asked to be an emotional human being. You're just being asked to strike a balance between a logical thinker and an emotional thinking. You're not asking you to be emotional. We're just asking you to, I think, have empathy. Yeah.
And the way you were saying that we should be taught, how should we be taught?
So that's why I'm saying the society has empowered women and left men with the same old analogy. So ni nyinyi kulearn. It's upon you to do your self-work.
Maybe I don't think you haven't answered what I was trying to get from you. Like, what is these things that we should learn?
Yeah, what should we be taught? Tukue groomed aje.
Mkuwe na some empathy. Not me, I'm a man and I'm logical, that's me.
As in, nani sana faa tuambie tukue na hiyo empathy.
Yeah.
Sasa hapo sijui kama mtauliza baba zenu, mtauliza mama zenu. But sasa shida yenu mkiambiwa.
Si logical, si tunachukua kwa buda zetu.
Yeah.
Emotionally sasa hiyo ni story nyingine.
Drangi mimi nakuanga emotional uko kwa bedroom, lakini kuko watoto wanakuwa logical.
Hata ya kuwa hivyo basi.
Because unapata like even our mothers wakitu groom as men, like they don't tell us to be what you say. They tell us to be men that you're speaking against.
Okay.
So hatukwangi tumefunzwa kukua what you're speaking of. You're being taught to be traditional men every day. Tunafunza kwa tradition. And even you women, nacha kusema venye mmekuwa modernized. You're being taught by your mothers to become traditional as well. But you guys choose to pick some few things from TV, the things that you see on TV, and try to implement it here.
Western culture.
Which are?
See the Western culture.
Like what are those examples?
Examples of the
things that you pick on TV and
the things that you pick on TV, mostly like the romantic whatever. The romantic things that you pick on TV. Yes, in an African setup, there was like a level of romance, but you guys have picked this entire setup of the westernized romantic setup and made it defined love using that romantic setup, your Western world. Keeping in mind that we are in Africa, we have our own culture, which we need to follow. Na our culture not to allow to exist in this environment, because we're in different environments, remember that. So si tukifuata the African culture, it's easier. It had its own level of romance in it. But sasa nataka we follow the Western one, the right one. The African one is not romantic. Yeah.
I'd urge you to be open-minded. You understand?
In which
we cannot do things the way they were done in the 19th century.
But
now we're in a better place to.
But for the West, the things that they're doing, mostly marriage, almost everything that they're doing is in their culture. It's the culture they have followed. So what we're doing is we are borrowing a culture from other people. In quotes, modernity. Because we're just copying whatever they're doing and calling it modernity. It's not that it's something that's new, or it's something that they've been doing throughout time, but we're just copying it and calling it modernity and saying it's right and we're following it. Keeping in mind they have 50% divorce rates, and we want to follow them. I'd say this, a woman is like a flower, whether 19th century, 20th, 21st, a woman is like a flower that needs to be watered. The way we are emotional human beings. For us to emotionally connect and feel safe, we need that romance.
we don't need we don't need I don't think women can thrive in a subject king relationship, although there are people who survive in a subject king relationship, but women are like flowers, they need to be watered for also you as a man to have those traditional way of of life for men. And Nini Kenya men hamjuagi ni women are natural submitters. But you really have to. I swear women are natural.
The modern ones aren't.
The modern ones are.
Let me speak for women. Women are natural submitters. But you really have to show a woman you're a leader, you're a provider, and you're able to cater for them emotionally. Now I urge you to try that.
So you know what you give in return.
Because anaifanyika ni kama like you have to give to get. Like,
like a man who leads, you will automatically follow. You don't want someone new. Guy, a man who doesn't keep his word. Unaelewa? Leo alikuwa amesema tuseme last week akisema on Wednesday we are going to go somewhere. We are going to go out. But Wednesday inafika haja keep his word. So we look for people who keep their word, who are leaders, and it's very easy to follow that leader. But that's ukikuwa a man mwenye hata you're not even at least a man of your word. How do you expect a woman to naturally submit to you? There you'll be asking for too much.
So one has to happen for the other one to follow.
I think they're intertwined. Like they have to just exist.
You guys can't submit them in.
Yeah, you can't just submit them.
The rest follows. Like, does it have to be give or get situation?
It's not a give or get situation. It's just how naturally we've been built.
Okay.
Yeah, like we look for even would expect inaitwaje, would expect watu waanze kufuata someone who is not a president in the country, who is not a leader. No, we follow someone who is a leader.
Yeah.
So we need a leader so that naturally we just submit to.
So you agree with submission, like women submitting to men? I
agree, but submit to the right one.
Okay, well, like, what's the definition of now submitting?
Submitting.
Yeah.
Submitting okay, follow, like we have said, like you
tuseme una watoto bado.
Okay.
Define submitting kama bado mko in a relationship na bado mna mtoto. Define submission. Juu wengi wanasemanga kama kuna watoi ndo watasubmit, providing as in taking care. So kama mna watoto,
kuna ile to respect, like you should carry your person with. For example, there are some decisions now when you're single you can do something, but now when you're in a relationship you should be able to have respect enough to come and even like, are you okay with me going to this place? Are you comfortable? Yeah, I think for when in a relationship and a relationship that upholds respect, then you are going to ask such kind of things, and also take in consideration the comfortability of your partner or the decision your partner has for the relationship, not for the man.